Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received, and the translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, how are you? Tinder almost became my coffin, and I will never forget what happened. I really never thought that I was going to be the kind of a woman that will cheat on her husband. I grew up in Pietermaritzburg in a strict Christian family. I got married to my husband when I was 26, and for a while our marriage was perfect. We had 2 kids, a comfortable home, and my husband, he had a good job and he was a decent man, but marriage becomes quiet sometimes. My husband was working night shifts at the logistics company where he was working, and I would stay at home with the kids. Slowly, the boredom and the loneliness started to affect me. I would be with my friends, but still, I wanted to be with a man. Like, have you ever had that feeling that you just want someone, like you really need someone in a sexual way? And as for my husband, when I would try to sex chat him, he would just respond and would be like, babe, I am busy at work, this and that. I then got addicted to scrolling Instagram, then Facebook, and eventually I then downloaded Tinder out of curiosity. At first, it felt like a harmless game. All that I had to do was to meet up with these strangers, and it was so nice because my husband, he was not the romantic type. He had never told me that I was so beautiful. He would just like my pictures on Facebook, but never to comment on my pictures. And when these strangers started to give me compliments, this gave me butterflies that I had not felt in years. That was when I got a match with this other guy. This was a 34-year-old Nigerian guy living in Durban. His profile and had pictures with expensive cars, designer clothes, and he told me that he was a big businessman. His first message was like, hello, beautiful. I really like the way that you smile. I can tell that you are a queen who deserves much, much more. I laughed, I blushed, and I replied. Within days, he was calling me my sunshine, and I was sneaking to the bathroom to sex video chat with him. He had this deep voice, and the way he said my name felt like I was under a spell. I ignored all the little red flags. After 2 weeks, he said that he wanted to take me out, just the two of us. As for my husband, he was never available because all that he was doing was making sure that he can work so that he can take good care of me and the kids. My husband was on a weeknight shift and the kids were at my mother's house for the weekend. This was what I had been waiting for. Mind you, I had never slept with another man except for my husband. My heart was pounding, but I told myself that maybe it was just dinner with this stranger guy. This was the first meeting that we had. He picked me up in a nice Mercedes-Benz outside a shopping center. He smelled so nice. As for the cologne, it smells so expensive. He opened the door for me and he smiled and he said, my queen, finally. We drove to a luxury apartment building in Umhlanga. He said the restaurant nearby was too crowded and we could relax and have a private dinner. At this place first, something in me hesitated, but I told myself that I was supposed to leave just a little bit. The apartment was really beautiful and it had this massive balcony overlooking the ocean. He poured wine and he was playing this nice romantic music. I felt like I was inside a romantic movie. He cooked nice food. We ate, laughed. He touched my hand gently and this deep sent shivers up in my spine. Then he said that he wanted to take me to his bedroom. I followed him. The room was huge and there was these big glass doors that led to a small balcony, and I was like, wow, this is the life. I turned around when he suddenly locked the sliding door behind me, and I was confused. I asked him what was he trying to do because he had locked us out on the balcony. The guy then told me that he had a fantasy, and he had a fantasy to sleep with a woman whilst the woman was hanging from the balcony. I thought that the guy was playing games with me. He had this rope that he tied, and he made me, you see, when you are bungee jumping, they make you to wear that thing that will secure you. He had me tied on that, and he said that he wanted to make love to me whilst I was wearing that. He tied me to this other steel beam on that balcony, and he tied me securely, and he started making love to me, and I fainted and I felt dizzy because I was upside down as he was making love to me. The last thing that I heard was like, "You are married and you are playing games. Don't you know that this is how married women always disappear?" And everything went dark. And when he was making love to me whilst I was upside down like that, I felt my blood leaving my legs, flowing to my brain, and that feeling, it was so terrible. I could not feel my legs anymore. After that, that was when I woke up. I was sitting outside of that apartment. Instead of me calling the police, I just said, let me return back home. This guy, he even sent me threatening message, and he said, if you ever speak about this to anyone, I'm going to expose you to your husband. You are a cheater. And he had gotten my husband's phone numbers, and I think that he got them when I was fast asleep. How exactly he had managed to unlock my phone, I really do not remember anything. He made a screenshot of my husband's WhatsApp number, and he said, if you want, I can speak with him. The guy, he took videos of himself making love to me whilst I was hanging from his balcony. The thing that I am telling you, to someone else it might seem as if it cannot happen, but it happened to me. I honestly wanted to report the guy, but when I was seated at home, I started thinking more about it, and I said, what will my husband say? How will I explain that I ended up with a Nigerian hanging from his balcony whilst he was literally raping me because we did not agree for that kind of sex? This is what I went through after I met this guy on Tinder. Whenever I see a black Mercedes car, my heart sinks and I start to panic, and I am scared being around Nigerian men. So if you want fun on Tinder, it is okay, but sometimes you can end up with a guy who is a psychopath. There are some of these men that are killers. This guy, I am pretty sure that he has killed women before. The way that he became rude the moment that I was on the balcony, and the way that he was looking into the ocean as if he has dumped some bodies there in the ocean, and the way that he made me to feel so uncomfortable, that was like a turn on to him. This is my own horror story that I went through, and it terrifies me because I do not have anyone to share with this story, because who will believe me? Besides, I am a married woman. Just think about it, speaking about it with the people that know me. What if one of my enemies one day decides to tell my husband? That will be the end of my marriage. From that day going onwards, I got so scared. Indeed, there are times when I feel like I really want to be with another man, since my husband, he is not the romantic type, but I feel safe around him more than the way that I felt safe when I was with this romantic Nigerian guy. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our sister. If you have any story that you have, you can share with us your story, then I'll post it here on our channel. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world.